second.
It's recording.
Okay. Hi, thank you for being part of this study. My name is Joe Smith, and I appreciate you coming in today and answering some questions. I mentioned to you earlier, the purpose of this study is to understand the experiences of students in the Education Leadership Program at East Tennessee State University and how these students juggle work, family, school responsibilities. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I encourage you to share as much detail as possible. Again, thank you for being part of this. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, to begin with, can you talk a little bit about your current job and the responsibilities that you have at work?
Well, current position at the moment, I'm a faculty member at Northeast State Community College, and I'm the program director and assistant professor for the Medical Lab Technology program. I've been there for about 7 years now, and I'm the sole faculty member over that program. It's a cohort program that has 50 students that start, and then they progress along in the program, for semesters, and learning all about how to test samples, blood samples, urine samples in the lab at hospitals and clinics and places like healthcare facilities.
Can you talk a little bit about outside of your faculty position at Northeast State, the types of responsibilities and commitments you have, particularly to other relationships?
Well, I'm a dog lover. I have 3 dogs, and so those are a big responsibility for me. I have one dog who happens to be blind, I would say. However, for the past couple of weeks now, she's been showing some improvement in her hind legs to where she is standing and walking some. So, but she has been paralyzed from a back injury for almost 2 years now. So, needless to say, I have to take care of her. It's almost like taking care of an infant. She can't walk, so therefore I have to, take her outside to use the bathroom and things like that. So that's a huge responsibility on me. It's like a lot of things have changed in my personal life since that happened. I used to travel a lot, and I like to travel and go places, spur of the moment, and things like that. So now she has become pretty much completely dependent upon me. My travel days have become zero unless I can take her with me. I go to South Carolina quite often, sometimes down there, so I'll take her with me with my other dogs also. I have a wonderful father who I can see slowing down a little bit now. He'll be 75 in September. So, but he's very active for his age, and so I'm very fortunate with that. I do have an aunt who lives in Jersey, who is sometimes, so I usually have to make a trek to New Jersey to check on her as well. So there's some other responsibilities, big responsibilities outside of work that will come into play with all the other aspects of trying to juggle work and home life and school life.
Great. So you've talked a little bit about some family responsibilities, and you talked about your work responsibilities. Can you tell any other commitments or priorities or responsibilities that you have outside of those areas?
Well, I actually just purchased a home, so I'm in the middle of trying to fix that house up as well. It's vacant. I haven't moved in yet, and I have there doing some, eights and painting and putting windows in, and so I'm trying to juggle with some contractors and meeting with people that are doing those renovations for me, since I'm not a handyman, and I don't have a handyman to really rely on. So I've had to schedule contract workers to come over and do painting and do some drywalling and laying down a new floor and things like that. And so it's been another thing that's on my plate that I'm trying to get taken care of as well.
Okay. Well, you've talked about different things that you have and responsibilities. Can you tell us what a typical week might be for you?
Well, students are in clinicals at the moment. They start their clinical rotations in May, and they're in clinicals for 6 months. So now I have 15 students that are in clinical rotations at the area facilities in the Tri-City. So I make visits to the facilities to check on them and spend time with them, reviewing, and we have exercises that we do there at the facilities. And so usually during the day for my work hours, I on the students and travel to the facilities and time there. I also have office hours that I do as well. I'll be going to the office usually in the afternoons a couple days a week or so to catch up on paperwork and do some administrative assignments that I have there that I need to take care of. The other time is usually occupied with thoughts of trying to get homework assignments done by their due dates, and like I said, with the new house in the evenings, I've been spending some time there at the house doing some things like that. I've taken wallpaper that night and ripped up carpet, and been trying to take the little out of the floor. So that's kind of what my weeks have been filled with lately.
Tell us a little about your weekends, what kind of things you do on the weekends, whether it be for work or school or for family.
Weekends, well, weekends were very different for me until I started the ELPA program. I remember when I just started the program in the summer of 2016, it seemed like every single weekend was filled with homework because I was still trying to manage my time as far as getting my homework assignments done, and most assignments were usually due on Sundays. So I feel like Saturdays and Sundays were pretty filled with trying to get my homework assignments done by the due date on Sunday. I remember one Sunday early on, just beginning, that I thought, oh my gosh, is every single Sunday for the next 3.5 years going to be like this? But I've progressed along in the program and have gotten used to the classes and gotten used to the routine. I've learned to manage my time a little bit better with my classes as far as trying to get some assignments done earlier instead of, waiting until the last minute on Sunday to try to submit things. And so I usually have that down a little, I think. So my weekends are a little bit more, say, really freer, but they're a little less stressful, so to say, to where I'm a little bit more freer on the weekends to maybe do a little things than just sit at a computer trying to get homework done every weekend.
I'd like to follow back up with about the past 2 years. Since you started the ELPA program, I see here in May of 2016. Can you tell us your experience so far? being in the program, being a full-time doctoral student?
Well, been a change some days, uh, just for any student that's in a doctoral program. There's been times where I feel like I'm a gun and there's some pressure going on, but to try to get an assignment done that I might not be very familiar with, and so I have to make a little extra research to gather the information I need as far as trying to pull together an assignment. And it's been very rewarding. I was just telling someone the other day that I'm so glad that I'm doing it, and I've learned a lot, actually. I've learned so much, and I've really enjoyed being and meeting, new people and establishing some new friendships with folks in the program, so to say. But it's been very rewarding, but I usually always follow it up with, it's a lot. I always say it's a lot. A lot.
Yeah. On that note, you talked about your responsibilities with work and with school, other things, with family. Can you tell me about how you go about keeping up with the different responsibilities and due dates and tasks that need to be performed? This could be with work as well as school or at home.
I've always used a calendar. I have a calendar at work, and so I usually write appointments on those, and any kind of student appointment, students coming in to talk about the MLT program. I write those on my calendar. As far as other appointments, I usually put them in phone. I have an app on my phone that I use to schedule their appointments, So I'm a really good maker and a lister. I like to make lists, tons of lists, everything. So I usually list things down too, so it's fresh on mind, and I have things to where once it's done, I like to mark it off my list. And so if I have certain meetings or certain obligations that I have to meet, then I usually put them on the calendar or make a list of things.
Right. So you've, again, outlined these responsibilities and how you go about trying to keep up with them. Can you tell us about a time or more than once during past years where you felt like you were struggling with your ability just to keep up with the demands that were on you?
Yeah, for sure. There's been plenty of days where it was always a huge struggle. Was an instance where last semester I had a big struggle with trying to download the data for our qualitative class, statistics class, and for some reason I couldn't access the data on my computer, and that was always like a huge struggle. It was discouraging. Really, I like just quitting sometimes for that. It was a huge struggle. I even had to make several trips to the main campus library just so I can use the computer there in the library to access the data and do my homework from the library. So that's a huge struggle that I can really, off the top of my head. I do remember that first summer was a struggle for me only because I was still trying to acclimated with the new responsibilities that was added to my plate as far as, homework and getting assignments done, especially with information, a class that I took that summer, and I'm not very familiar with law, so I struggle, and it's been a long time since I've written, documents and homework assignments. So the writing class, it went well. It was that semester was a little bit of a struggle, but we made it through.
Thank you. So when you find yourself in moments where you feel like you're struggling, can you tell us how you work through those situations, how you overcome that sense of feeling like you're struggling?
Well, I usually take I may on the computer and make a little meltdown, but I usually come right back to it and still just try to plug away. I have a really strong support network as far as my father. He is a huge support for me. He's always encouraged me to, stick with it, and he's telling me how proud he is of me, and my colleagues at work are very supportive as well. It's a nice support group that I have. I have a lot of good friends that I usually vent to as far as trying to get some homework assignments done, and they're always asking me how school is going and things like that. So if I have trouble with something, I would just want to vent about a class or an assignment or whatever, I usually talk to my friends about it too.
Can you tell us a little bit more, staying on the subject of your support network, tell us the importance of having this support network for you in terms of being able to juggle the different types of responsibilities that you have.
Just for me to
talk about the level of importance this support network has for you in terms of being able to juggle the different types of responsibilities that you have.
Like I mentioned, my dad, there's a lot of things that I really get through without his support. He, as mentioned earlier, I have 3 dogs, and one of them happens to be paralyzed